You're watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey, and this episode is made possible by Rhone. I am rocking one of their commuter collection polos. You guys can get 20% off when you use code CHATSPORTS over at Rhone.com/ChatSports. Tell you more about them later on in today's show as we break down all the latest on the Dallas Cowboys. That will include updates on a Tony Pollard extension. The franchise tag deadline is just around the corner. Will a deal get done or not? Could the Cowboys trade for a running back? One name in particular we'll break down on today's show. Trevon Diggs' ESPN ranking among all corners. And as a reminder, make sure you are part of the Noti gang here at the Cowboys Report. What I mean by that is to make sure your notifications are set to all. That way you don't miss any video. You're the first to know news here on YouTube. Simply click the bell icon back where you first subscribed. Change notifications from personalized to all. You'll get a push for every video, and I'll be able to feed my family, most importantly, baby Olivia. We're going to begin with the latest on Tony Pollard. The franchise tag deadline is just around the corner, coming up on July 17th. As a reminder, if the Cowboys do not get a long-term deal done for Pollard by then, he has to play on the franchise tag. He has already signed his roughly $10.1 million tender. Here's what ESPN's Dan Graziano reported on Pollard as mostly part of a larger piece on Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, but he did mention Pollard too. He says the Cowboys will likely check in with Pollard's representatives, but I don't know that I would anticipate any real progress towards a deal there. Again, his situation is different than Jacobs and Barkley, in part because he's already signed that deal. Now, I believe the short-term leverage is in Tony Pollard's favor. He's already signed his tender. He's owed $10 million this year. It's actually a pretty decent guaranteed amount relative to the running back market. However, back lives are short these days. The NFL does not sit around giving you a bunch of years and time to maximize. You don't see players very often get third contracts and even live for their team for their second deals. There's also this part too. The Cowboys' tag history is not in favor of getting a deal done right away. The Cowboys actually are technically 0 for their last 5 of, it's not really 0 for 5, but 0 for the last 3, I should say, of tender applied, deal gets done. They got it done with Dak on tag 2, on Tank with tag 2, didn't get it done with Dalton Schultz, he's gone, never got it done with Anthony Spencer, got it done with Ken Hamlin, Dez Bryant, not so for Flozell Adams. Pollard, what we've seen so far in his career, from college to the NFL, has been one constant over the upward chart of his career. More carries, hasn't dipped his efficiency or explosiveness quite that much. That's valuable in the modern-day NFL. But do you want to commit to a running back when you just had a bad deal with Ezekiel Elliott? More on Pollard to come, what a deal could look like. But will Dallas get that contract done with Pollard before the extension deadline? Y for yes, N for no. It is today's pinned comment, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. This is the highest paid back list in the entire NFL. Christian McCaffrey makes $16 million. James Conner makes $7 million at the bottom of the top 10 list. Tony Pollard makes $10.09 million this year on the franchise tag. So remember that number. 16 on the high end, 7 on the low end, anywhere from 12-ish is kind of the middle of the road for premier backs. What's different here is the guaranteed money. And there's some couple guys who got $30+ million guaranteed, a couple guys in the 20s, and then a big drop-off. Like Bijan Robinson is a rookie and is 4th among guaranteed money because running backs don't get paid that type of money. Austin Eckler, $15 million guaranteed. Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, those guys are still on their rookie deals. So if you're approaching that $15 million per year guaranteed number, that's actually top 10 among backs. The popular number I've seen out there, Bleacher Report, Spotrac, etc., is somewhere in the ballpark of 3 years, $27 million, with $15 million guaranteed. Now, in a bubble, I actually think that contract's pretty fair for all parties involved. The problem that the Cowboys run into here is Pollard is already guaranteed $10 million this year. That is locked in. There's no change there. So it ends up being a 2-year, $17 million deal with $5 million guaranteed. Couldn't he beat that next year? Couldn't Pollard find a contract of that caliber this upcoming season? Or next season? I think that's very doable from that perspective. Now, today's show is made possible by Rhone. Get 20% off your order when you go to Rhone.com/chatsports. That's Rhone.com/chatsports. The commuter collection from Rhone can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. It's the most comfortable, breathable, flexible set of products known to mankind. I like wearing it out on the golf course, plus, of course, on air, because it's a very versatile piece of clothing there in the end. Rhone also has pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You simply never have to worry about what to wear with the Rhone commuter collection. They have 4-way stretch fabric that provides breathability and flexibility for whatever life throws your ways. So head to Rhone.com/chatsports and use promo code chatsports to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you go to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to find your corner office comfort. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. Trade rumors now at the running back spot with Michael Carter, the player in mind here. So Heavy Sports suggested the Cowboys should go trade for Michael Carter if the Jets end up adding Dalvin Cook. Now, Carter's a former 4th-round pick. Dallas does not have proven depth at the running back spot, but is Carter good enough to trade for? Let's break it down, first beginning with what Heavy Sports argue. If the Jets sign Cook and the Cowboys are truly looking for another back, Dallas should absolutely look for a deal for Carter. The former North Carolina Tar Heel burst onto the scene in 2021, but has cooled down since. But he is still just 24 years old and with serious potential. I don't know if I would say burst onto the scene in year one when he had 640 yards, did catch a good amount of passes there. Carter does offer some good third down value. He's got 77 catches already in his young NFL career. And in theory, if the Jets add Dalvin Cook, they have Breece Hall, they have my guy, Israel Abanikanda, who I really like coming out of the pit, and they have Zonovan Knight, they might not necessarily need Michael Carter. And that 1,000 yards for Carter is actually pretty high up there in terms of the list for what the Cowboys have provenness on their depth chart right now. Tony Pollard is, of course, the lead back. Deuce Vaughn's a rookie. Ronald Jones flashed briefly and then didn't do a whole lot afterwards. Malik Davis, Rico Dallas, something like 200 combined yards to their name. Hunter Lipke is kind of a fullback, H-back, running back hybrid from that perspective. There are plenty of concerns right now around the RB2 spot, and I do understand it. How would you want to address those potential concerns? T for go trade for somebody, F for sign a free agent, or R for stick with the guys on the roster? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk corners here. The ESPN rankings continue to come out. They have ranked the top 10 cornerbacks now based on their conversations and rankings from execs, coaches, and players all voting. And Trevon Diggs checked in at number 8 on the list this year. He was as high as number 3 and as low as unranked. There are actually a lot of unranked corners, so a lot of disagreement with how they're all viewed, and I get that. This is a pretty damn good group of corners, right? Patrick Surtain, Sauce Gardner, Jalen Ramsey, Jair Alexander, Darius Slay, Marlon Humphrey, Marshawn Lattimore, then Diggs, Denzel Ward, A.J. Terrell. There's a bunch of damn good corners right now in the NFL. I think Diggs is certainly worth being in that inclusion. He was number 10 last year, moved up 2 spots on these rankings. So where would you guys rank Diggs? Some more conversation on him coming, of course, here. But where would you rank him among all the corners in the NFL? Is probably not number 1. Is 8 right? Should it be higher, lower? Go vote in the comment section. For me, somewhere in the top 10 feels about right. Maybe it's 7, maybe it's even 9, but I think in that range, in maybe the tier 2 or 3, depending on how you want to tier them all, the top guys at least, is the correct answer. I might have put Jair Alexander higher even, but I do think top 10 is the right spot for Diggs. Here's what one alleged NFC personnel man, so not personnel director, but somewhere high up like a VP of player personnel or something. Here's what they told ESPN about Diggs. I think he's gotten better at gambling overall. It's still a hindrance to his game, in my opinion. I think if he can be more calculated with his ways, he can be viewed more like an Asante Samuel Sr. Pretty damn good comparison, by the way, for a level of player there. The interceptions did go down this year. The completion percentage went up. The yards went down. I thought overall Diggs was a bit more consistent this year. He could have had more interceptions. There were some drops, which is very funny in the way we describe Diggs of like, we view him as a receiver because he used to play that, of course, earlier on in his career at high school, Alabama, etc. He should catch everything. When he doesn't, it's not quite as positive there. The interception numbers went down. I thought the overall play was a bit more consistent from Diggs. Look, he's entering year 4. He has not yet hit his prime. One note on the safety rankings that came out. Jayron Kearse did get at least one vote for the safeties group, but was 21st overall, so not in the honorable mentions in the others receiving votes category. Stephon Gilmore, by the way, also in that grouping among corners. No other safeties, though, were in that group. So just Jayron Kearse getting a little bit of love from other execs, coaches, and players. Before we go, as promised, a shout-out to the winner of our last comment challenge, Luis Ramirez. The winner there did not beat Fort Voken's record last time, who, by the way, I think came in second in the numbers or third. I don't remember off the top of my head. But Luis Ramirez, thank you so much for spamming the comment section on that vid.